Welcome to your daily AI News Digest for April 14th, 2026. Today, we're tracking the seismic shifts happening in the world of artificial intelligence.
First up, we're looking at what could be a corporate earthquake in the hardware world. Then, we're going to dig into a new AI model that's apparently so powerful, its own creators are saying it is just too dangerous to release. And to wrap things up, we have a pretty dire warning for the entire global white-collar workforce.
All right, let's get right into it. Our first story starts with the very foundation of AI. We're talking about the silicon.
So, rumors are swirling right now that chip giant Nvidia is in the final stages of buying a major PC company. And according to a report from Semi-Accurate, this isn't just any deal. They're calling it a move that could fundamentally reshape the entire market.
Now, the potential targets? We're talking about the absolute giants of the industry. You see Lenovo leading the pack in units sold here, but it's Dell and HP whose stock prices have already jumped on this news. For their part, Nvidia has officially denied it all, saying the reports are false. What makes this rumor so interesting is the timing. It's happening right as Nvidia is about to launch its N1X chip. And believe me, this isn't just another processor. This is a direct shot at the 40-year dominance of Intel and AMD. It pairs powerful ARM CPUs with their Blackwell GPU and, get this, a massive 128 gigs of onboard memory. The whole point is to run powerful AI models right on your laptop, totally private, with zero lag. So let's connect the dots here. If this buyout rumor is actually true, Nvidia would go from being just a component supplier to controlling the entire AI PC ecosystem. We're talking from the chip all the way to the machine it runs on. It would be a complete vertical takeover of the market.
Okay, let's shift gears from hardware to the software frontier because there's a new AI model that has officials on high alert. You know, it's a question that AI safety researchers have been dreading for years. And, well, it looks like we might finally have an answer. It's called Claude Mythos. Now, Anthropic has confirmed it exists, but they've also decided it's way too dangerous for a public release. And the reason for that extreme caution? It's basically a master hacker in AI form, with an unprecedented ability to put our entire global financial, health, and energy infrastructure at risk.
But what Anthropic is doing here is, well, it's fascinating. Instead of just locking it away, they're using Mythos as a defensive tool. They've launched this private initiative called Project Glasswing, which is essentially a corporate cyber defense treaty. They're sharing it with the big players to find and fix critical vulnerabilities before anyone else can exploit them. And this really illustrates a brand new reality we're in. The most advanced AI is no longer being treated as a product you can just sell. It's being classified as a threat that needs to be contained, almost like a weapon of mass destruction. Now, these huge advances in both hardware and software, they're not happening in a vacuum. They're creating a massive shockwave that's starting to hit the global economy. Just look at the money. An absolutely unprecedented wave of capital is funding this revolution. I mean, investors poured a record-shattering $300 billion into startups in just the first quarter of this year. And guess where most of it went? Straight into AI. And at the recent AI summit, venture capitalist Vinod Khosla gave a pretty stark warning about where all this money is actually taking us. He's predicting nothing short of an extinction-level event for millions of white-collar jobs, especially in IT, and what's known as business process outsourcing, or BPO. His argument is that AI is making this fundamental leap right now. It's shifting from just being a helpful digital assistant to becoming a fully autonomous AI worker that can replicate human cognitive labor. And that puts any profession based on expertise squarely in the crosshairs. So the takeaway here isn't just about some job losses. The real implication is that the productivity gains from AI could be so massive that they lead to a permanent collapse in the entire market for knowledge workers. We could be looking at a complete unraveling of our 21st century economic model. So, faced with all this rapid change, it's no surprise that governments are scrambling to figure out how to respond. Here in the United States, a really interesting tension is emerging. On one hand, you've got the White House pushing for a single light-touch national standard to speed up innovation, but that's putting them in direct conflict with this growing patchwork of individual state laws, all creating different rules across the country. And the administration's new policy framework makes its position crystal clear. It's calling for federal law to completely override these state-level efforts. The argument is that having this fragmented system just imposes, in their words, undue burdens on the national strategy to win the global AI race. Okay, so when you pull all these threads together, hardware, software, the economy, government response, what does the state of AI on April 14th, 2026 actually mean for us?
What we're seeing is a really clear pivot. Look, the focus isn't just on building bigger and bigger models anymore. The real race now is to build out the entire ecosystem for these AI agents to act on their own in the world. That means the specialized hardware, the new security protocols to contain them, and the economic rules for what might be a post-labor transition. We've officially moved from the model era into the agent era.
So the question we're left with is no longer just, how do we use AI? The real question is, how do we adapt to a world that's going to be run by it?